significant contribution that our officers did in relation to that. The last thing I just have here is the zero tolerance, zero collision update for December. So we ran another one of those programs. Sorry, I have a number of pieces of papers here. I'm just trying to find the right one. In December, we focused on Brantford Road, which is, we had Highway 3, Highway 24, and it's the kind of the back end of the triangle there, geography-wise. And there was, I can't find the paper here, but I know the numbers off the top. There was 65 charges laid amongst the 2 days, the majority of which were speeding, and we had a couple of suspended drivers during that period of time as well. And also over those 2 days, there was a high call for service volume that we had. I think we had 110 calls for service over the same period of time. So the officers did what they could on that direct patrol for the time that they had in relation to their time there. And that's all I have. Pending any questions?
Good, thank you. Any questions for Lisa on her report? Jim?
I did have one final question, Mr. Chairman. Lisa, on the festive ride program, I think you said we had 72 ride events, if you like, across the county during that period of time. And my limited understanding of a ride event, it would take place over a couple of hours, I gather, at a location, and there would be several officers involved, kind of, typically, because that's good. I mean, I'm surprised we were able to achieve that many along with everything else, but my question, I guess, relates to the person hours that are involved in a typical ride event.
Yeah, we won't do a ride with any less than 2 officers, but you'll normally see a platoon or a shift trying to get together, or people that are working in a certain area to get as many people as you can at the ride program. It's trying to move traffic along, but still check as many vehicles as you possibly can. So when you would see an event, it would be multiple officers that would be together doing that ride initiative. And then having the availability of an intoxilizer technician and everything else to follow up with those investigations.
Other questions for Lisa on her report? Other questions for Lisa on any other issue? Seeing none, if we could go to the next agenda items. We are obligated under the Police Services Act to elect a chair and a vice chair at the first meeting of every year. This would be the first meeting for 2018. So I will leave the chair and let Maureen conduct an election.
So the floor is now open for nominations for the position of Chair of the Police Services Board for 2008. So, pardon me, 2018, sorry. I have 18. Are there any nominations? Remember? And do you wish to stand as Chair? Very good. Are there any other nominations? No? Okay, so by a show of hands, all in favor? Okay, so that's carried. So there we go. Welcome.
Well, thank you. If we could have any nominations for a vice chair. Jim?
Mr. Chair, I'm going to nominate Mayor Luke for vice chair for the year.
Mayor Luke, are you willing to stand? Any other nominations? All in favor? Thank you for standing. Somebody to sign the checks. If we could move on to question period. Any questions? Marty?
Good morning, everybody. Mr. Chairman, I was wondering what's the process ahead for arriving at a new permanent chief of the Norfolk OPP. Is it a hiring process that the board looks after, or does West Region do that for us?
Both. What we are doing is waiting for a new pool of candidates to be established, and it's our understanding that that will be approximately a 3-month process, so close off around the end of March, and hopefully there will be some candidates that would meet the requirements of both the OPP and the Norfolk Police Services Board, and we will interview them at that time.
So West Region will come up with a short list for us, and then the Police Services Board sits down and gets familiar with them, and then possibly gives some feedback to West Region. Ultimately, is it the board's decision, or is it West Region's decision who ultimately comes in?
Ultimately, it's the board's decision.
Pardon me?
Ultimately, it's the board's decision.
Okay.
They can say no.
And I have a question, Mr. Chair, for the acting chief. I understand that there were 3 officers, unfortunately, who were injured in that incident in Elmer. You mentioned the status of 2. What about the 3rd?
The third was injured, but didn't require any type of medical leave and maintained full duties as a result of it. It was a minor injury.
Great. And officer, I got a good picture of Inspector Horvat, and you're nicely down there in the corner there, and the Simcoe Reformer likes to identify who's in the photos. May I please have your name? Peter DeVer. And how do we spell your last name, sir? And your rank, please, sir?
Currently with an acting staff sergeant.
Okay. And Inspector, the highway triangle that you're referring to, I just want to be clear on this, is it's Brantford Road, Highway 24, and Highway 3? Was that the triangle that you're referring to?
Is it, again, not being familiar with the geography, is it County Road 4 that I'm talking about?
We call it Brantford
Brantford
Road.
Road? Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. And it sounds like perhaps you were sharing some interesting numbers with regard to accident rates and so on involving this triangle while I was out talking to Inspector Horvat. Would I be able to get a copy of those numbers that you shared with the board in my absence?
Yeah, we were specifically just talking about Highway 24 when you were
Highway
out,
24,
but I
right.
can absolutely speak to you afterwards, and we can
Great.
make sure you have the same numbers. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
If there are no more questions, if I could have a motion to move to closed session. Oh, sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Thought Maureen was going to maybe remind us. I don't think we approved the inspector's report yet, did we?
No, we didn't. If I could have a motion approving the report, moved by Jim, seconded by Dave. All in favor? And any other new business that anyone wants to bring up? Seeing none, if we could now have a motion for a closed session. Moved by Charlie, seconded by Jim. All in favor? Thank you.